I think for me, the most exciting part going into any season is just getting back out there on the field and being around the guys and getting the work done and preparing ourselves for the season, and just that general buzz you get from being out there and playing the game and working with the guys on a day-to-day basis. It's a long off season for our sport, so it's a long build-up and a lot of anticipation going into the season. So that for me is probably the most exciting aspect going into a new season. Yeah, I think the end of last season was definitely disappointing the way it ended. Having said that, if you look at the big picture and look at the season as a full work, it was a very successful year. I think that the difference for going into this season is I know the players very well now, as opposed to last year when they were all new to me. I'd only known all of them for a couple of weeks before we got going. So last year was about managing the players and getting the best out of the players that we had, whereas this year we've been able to work with them during the spring season and being able now really to sort of imprint a style of play and imprint a mentality about the program. They'll be a little bit different, and hopefully it's a mentality and a style of discipline that will help us win the close games and win tough road games, which, obviously, as you see, as the last season panned out, that was where we struggled towards the end, where we had those tough games on the road and in hostile environments that we struggled with. And I think that hopefully we can imprint a mentality and a style with the team this year that will allow us to be successful in those moments. I think going into any new season with a college team, you have changes of personnel. You expect changes of personnel. It's just the natural progression of any college program. I think that going into next year, the nice thing for me is, like I'd said previously, is we've got a group of players now that I know very well. And individual personnel, sure, will be missed, but I think can be replaced. Would it be nice to be able to clone a couple of the guys we've got? For sure. But we've lost a couple more unexpectedly between the end of last season and the beginning of this that we weren't expecting. So they're going to be big holes to fill in the team. But I'm pretty confident that there's guys both coming back to the team and coming in as new guys that will be able to fill those spaces. And hopefully we can maintain our level of play and maintain some consistency. I think on an individual level, probably the biggest, I guess, hole to fill is goalkeeper. We've got 2 returning guys and 2 incoming guys as freshmen, none of whom have significant college playing experience. So I think that's going to be a really big challenge for us as a staff and for also those individuals involved. I'm confident that we're going to have good depth and good strength at that position. It'll be a matter of just getting games for those guys and getting the experience that they need so they can be successful later in the year. Obviously the obvious individual that we could talk about would be Eros Alathabal. He's had an unbelievable year last year individually, but he's a team player, and I don't think it's important whether he scores 5 goals for us or 25 goals. I don't think that's significant. I think what's significant is the overall performance of the team is far better, far more important, I should say, than individual accomplishments. And I think that hopefully that'll be reflected at the end of the year. The incoming group we got this year, we've got 9 guys coming in, and it's a mixed bag. We have 2 older players. One's a transfer, one's an existing student that hadn't previously played. And I'm hoping that they'll be able to contribute right away. I think they've already got the maturity. The freshman group, there's opportunities there. With the amount of seniors that we lost last year, with the 3 guys that we've lost subsequently, there's definitely opportunities there. For somebody to come in and make an impact, or a group of guys to come in and make an impact, and it's up to them to get in here and hit the ground running, and hopefully they're all fit. And if they're all fit and they perform in training, then they can definitely have an impact in games also. I think one of the biggest goals for me coming in was to build a better schedule for the program in general. I think that there were too many teams on our schedule last year that didn't challenge us, and I think in key moments, again, as I alluded to earlier, in key moments we weren't able to raise our game. So what I've tried to do is strengthen the schedule and put some really good established Division III programs on our schedule so that we can perform at that level consistently. And it's normal for us. I think if the well-worn phrase, to be the best, you have to be able to beat the best, or something along those lines. But we want to play the best teams possible. We want to play the best programs possible because that's how we get better, and that's how our program becomes established and becomes more consistent over a period of time and is able to compete in the NCAA tournament. I think the very minimum expectation for ourselves has got to be in the conference tournament at the end of the year, and to be pushing to get into the NCAA tournament. I think that has to be the absolute bare minimum expectation that we have. And from the players' perspective, they've got to come in and work hard every day. They've got to learn in training. They've got to want to get better and want to improve and come together as a group and be competitive every day. And I think if they do those things, it gives us a chance and puts us in a good spot at the end of the year.